It's not. No, no, no. Look, it's not. We're not acting, right? We are talking. Why are you acting? Like this isn't. This
I'm trying to
probably
get
isn't you.
comfortable.
No, you're getting comfortable at your own place.
Yeah.
You're probably doing all this for those guys, like for the camera. It's embarrassing.
Hey, don't post that shit.
It's embarrassing knowing you, bro.
So, life
Welcome to the pod.
is a
It's been-
scam. Let's start there. I've been struggling to get my visa up for the last 2 weeks now. Yeah, 3 weeks. Yeah, I can't get money, so go find me. I'm not too expensive. $10. I'll be okay. I can pay my rent, feed myself, clothe myself. Gives this guy a little bit of food to same situation here. Just at least I have an excuse. He doesn't. That's it.
And I just realized that I thought I was the least natural in this space, in this podcast, in this thing, but you are the least natural we've ever been. Like, I can't imagine the fact that you're shaky right now. I thought you were a confident guy, bro.
How am I shaking?
Your voice is. What's wrong, bro? What are you going
It's
through?
that you effect. Eh?
What are you going through, bro?
When I see you, I melt.
What are you going through?
I'm just telling you, when I see you, I melt.
Sad.
No, but it's I'm nervous because the love of my life is watching me right now.
Love of your life?
He's watching me right now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Which one?
That is not going in there.
So yeah, hi guys. Welcome to our second episode.
Come to my YouTube channel.
Most podcasts, fun fact, most podcasts don't go beyond the first episode. Most
crazy.
podcasts die on the first episode. Would you say that's true to us? Like
Yes,
it would have though.
Because of you.
It's okay, I take the fault, but what are you doing about it?
Me?
Mhm.
Every day. Hello. I have receipts. Every day. Hello. People are waiting. Fuck people. Remember that?
Yeah, times have been tough, guys. Times have been tough, but we're here. So we've made it beyond episode 1, so clap for ourselves. Now, the next milestone is this. Most podcasts do not last 20 episodes. So if we last 20 episodes, then we sure have something. If we last 20 episodes. It is. Because you see, it's more about the long term, it's more about the consistency. So the more episodes you have, the more people have something to watch and the more people can relate about the podcast. One episode might be a one-off because we might have just been lucky with the topics. But 20 episodes, that's consistency. So you've built a pattern. So if we can last longer than 20 episodes, that's the next milestone. So
for us to last longer, I put my M-Pesa number there.
Guys, as you can see, you can tell that this guy is actually in a tough place, bro. I mean, I'm also in a tough place, but
I'm not even going to.
His is worse. But I think as a man, you need to suffer.
I'm a hard-working student,
Mm-hmm.
So I think sometimes I do deserve a little bit of appreciation. Even you can send me some money right now.
In fact, my money is finished because of you.
It's okay.
Anyway, guys, so welcome to the pod. How's your week been?
Welcome to my YouTube channel.
You're such a fool. How's your week been, bro?
Yeah, it's like I was saying earlier. Immigration. That's been my week. Immigration in the bank. Visa is on standby because the system at immigration is not working. They said maybe Monday is gonna work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have until Monday.
Yeah, all the best with that, man.
Yeah, really all the
You'll
best.
definitely get it.
Really all the best. We're in Kenya, guys.
Yeah.
Administration is 1 year.
No, I mean it's not that bad. We're better than most countries, but yeah, it's a hassle. All I can say, it's a hassle, but you'll definitely get it. My week, guys, nothing out of the ordinary other than the thing I told you, like the TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
So one TikTok video that went crazy.
Went viral, guys.
Hopefully, too many more. But definitely a good week. At least I get to see you as well. Always a good week when we hang out.
I know you love me.
Even though we don't have Bottles, bro. And how are you hosting me, bro, without even a drink, bro?
There's water right at the top.
Yeah, you see,
There's water. 1, 2.
This-
There's yogurt too.
these are the
There's
leaders of the next
there's
generation.
yogurt. There's yogurt.
These are the leaders of now, leaders of tomorrow.
Honestly, at least I'm giving yogurt.
My yogurt, the one I bought.
No, I have my own there in the fridge.
Okay,
That's the one I'm asking
okay.
you to go and
Cool,
and
cool,
drink.
cool.
This
cool.
yogurt is nature.
I think they can tell who the fool is, but yeah, for your own
thing is-
sake, let me be the fool.
The thing is, right? The food all has to do with one thing: the topic.
Mhm.
There's just insight and by the way, a lot of people have agreed with me on the part of not having children if you can't afford it.
Because you care. If a lot of people agree with you,
It's not about caring.
because
It's
you
about
care.
stop
This guy
making children suffer. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna print out a T-shirt saying that stop making
You actually-
children suffer.
Let's talk about the movie you sent me. I watched it. What's it called? Is it Iranian? The Iranian refugee kid. What's the name of the movie?
I forgot the name of the movie.
Wallah.
Let me try looking for
But
it.
it was his name or something, yeah?
Wasn't it something like "Don't look away"?
Yeah, so guys, for the context, once he gets the title of the movie, but it's a brilliant movie where there's this kid who's Iranian, I think,
Yeah.
and then is born into a situation where the family um, is poor. And of course, they try to hustle. He works. He has little sisters. I believe he was the firstborn, but still, they're all kids, anyways. But the family kind of decides to marry off her lovely sister, of which he really loves the sister. And it messes him up. He tries to save the sister. It doesn't work out. He tries to run away with the sister, and on the day of escaping their home, that's when the sister is actually sold off to this guy who was providing for the family.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he runs away. It's a whole mess. He tries to survive. He ends up showing that brotherly love to someone who took him in, who had a child. So he ends up taking care of that person's kid. Eventually, the woman who took him in, also gets caught up in a legal battle or with the authorities, I think, on deportation stuff. And eventually, this kid decides to sell off this other kid after obviously doing everything he could until they couldn't eat anymore and they got locked out. But it's an interesting movie, not necessarily a sad movie, but an interesting way to look at that situation. But at the end of the day, the kid actually sues the parents after killing the guy who married the sister.
So for references, that movie that there's like it's been trending on Instagram also. I don't know if you guys have seen the clip, but the movie the clip is like he's talking to like I don't know who he's talking to,
Yep,
but that guy.
Just I think if you search it, Iranian refugee kid, born poor, sues parents, you'll definitely get it. Yeah. But yeah, I think eventually this guy's-
Capernaum.
Capernaum, yes.
Yeah.
Capernaum is the movie, guys.
It's the
There
movie.
you go.
Finally.
Fire movie, interesting movie. Of course, fire depends on what you like, but I think if you like to
There's
think
a
about
story.
things, perspective, the story is it's a brilliant story.
Yeah.
The kid eventually sues the parents for being born in a poor family, and the parents keep getting kids. So he sues the parent for bringing kids to life
exactly.
in a poor condition, which messes up their future eventually. What are your thoughts about that?
And that shows you actually. There's another day I was sitting downstairs talking to someone, and then I realized while talking to them that we don't bring kids into this world for them. We bring them for our own happiness.
A selfish need.
It's very selfish, right? So if you're going to indulge yourself in that selfishness, at least make sure the kid doesn't suffer. Hence why I'm so strong on don't bring kids into this world if you are going to make them suffer.
I would agree. I would agree to an extent. Okay, yes, is it a selfish desire? Yes. I don't think the kids have a choice. But isn't it the way of life? Isn't it nature? Isn't it our desire to procreate? I think something of the sort. It's in our desire. So yes, they do not have a choice because we decide and we do it for our own selfish needs. Where I disagree is I don't think it's fair to say it is unfair to bring kids not if you're poor. Because in the case of the movie, I think what the kid did was rightful because these parents kept on making mistakes that impacted their futures. But there's situations where yes, you're born in that situation, but it's not like your parents aren't loving you. It's not like your parents aren't going out of their way to
But
provide
it's not
for you.
about loving, and it's not about going out of their way to provide.
Was
It's
this
to
guy
make
loved?
Sure, well, it's to make sure that you don't find yourself in those situations.
Okay,
If you ask, yeah, a lot of those kids who don't have their parents love them, and then that's just the fact. But that doesn't mean that the kid doesn't go hungry once in a while. And for a lot of them, it's not even once in a while. Some of these kids literally don't eat as much.
so your point is okay. What you're trying to say is if you can't afford a kid, if you're poor, just don't get kids so that you die and the poverty ends with you.
Exactly. Because if you now walk into certain situations, like let's say you go into like Kibera, like areas like Kibera, right? There are families there who have been poor from the day it started, from the day the lineage started.
Yeah.
It's father, grandfather, great 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 grandfather, grandson, and the likelihood of the poverty ending there, low.
You know something else? Because now that you mentioned, I remember there's something I think I saw. I don't know where I had it, but I think it's probably on the internet. And someone was saying there's the rich, there's the poor. The gap in between is huge. And then there's people in here
In
who
between.
think they're maybe the middle class and they think they're so much better than these guys because they're trying to get there. But then it also almost seems like an illusion because getting here is also for very few people in this set of middle class.
Sure.
That the middle class are closest to the poor than the rich. Like the middle class can easily be poor,
It's true.
but he can't easily be rich.
It's true. It's very true.
So, don't you think it's also a construct? It's a construct. And don't get me wrong, of course, people are suffering. Of course, people are going through life experiences that aren't the best they could. However, don't you think it's all an illusion? I don't think poor or okay. I want to say I don't think poor or rich impacts necessarily who you are as a human.
Sure.
Of
but
course, it impacts your life experience and what you have access to. I'm not saying people should be poor, but I'm not saying that is enough to stop you from having kids. And who is to say situations don't change? Who is to say
it's true.
you
Okay,
get a
let
kid
them
and you won't
situations
succeed?
change. Let the situations change without having a kid. If you want a child, go out of your way to make sure that I'm not asking the parents to be extremely rich. That's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking of them is to make sure the kid is not missing anything.
That's a lie though. Because okay, let's think about it this way. Yes, you're saying make sure the kid isn't missing anything. Let's say I've worked hard, I have a certain level, I can take care of a kid to a certain extent, and then maybe I get a kid with special needs. You can't now judge me. No, it's not funny, bro. It happens.
A kid with special need now.
So now you can't judge me that I'm poor because I am unable to fully take care of
No.
that situation. That's why I would dismiss that entire idea of
Now it's
not
different.
getting kids when you're poor. All you can say is work hard enough so that your kid gets better than you did. That I agree with. Every person needs to work hard enough to ensure that at least their kid gets better than what they actually got.
But anyways, let's put a nail on this topic, right? You guys, I think everybody has their own opinions and point of view on this specific topic.
And guys can comment, by the way.
Yeah, you can comment.
DM where
Give
you
us-
can. Let's
Yeah,
see them, and maybe in the next one we can just go through them.
go through them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll actually.
Ball of contention. In short, this guy says
In short, I'm
people
saying
who aren't comfortable shouldn't get kids. I'm saying it's not about that.
I'm not saying
you just need to
comfortable. That's
work
the
hard
thing. I'm not
enough.
saying comfortable. I'm saying suffering. There's a difference between not comfortable and suffering. And I think that's that huge line you guys
Bro,
don't
let's
see.
talk
Have
about-
you seen
Let's
these kids?
let's pick suffering as the next topic. Let's put that to rest. Let's pick suffering as the next topic. Let me ask you. You think there's a way you can live life without suffering? Or what is suffering to you?
Sure, there's different type of suffering, but I think suffering simply means misery, right? There's so much going on, right? That there are certain things I rather worry about things like, I don't know. I rather worry about things like not being able to go to Tanzania than worrying about what I'm going to eat tomorrow or in an hour. Right? There are people who don't even have the luxury to afford something as simple as
Suffering. We're talking about suffering. I think, listen, hear me out. And I think I saw this thing online and I think it's trended for a while. I don't know if I forget the name, but it's some CNN journalist. He has white hair. He's famous. I forget his name. And he was doing an interview with there's Jimmy Kimmel and then there's someone else who has like an important night show. I've forgotten the names. But he was asking this guy, like he was referring to this guy's quote and then broke down, got so emotional because I think the quote was around, this guy said, okay, I can't really put it how he put it, but I think the idea was that he knows no life that lacks suffering because to be alive is to be exposed to suffering. And by that, he is blessed to be alive and he has embraced that the challenges that come are just part and parcel of being alive. Hear me out.
how rich was he?
Bro, they're celebrities. So I'll show you.
Okay, so you're gonna take that from his. I rather hear
Yeah, no, I would.
a
I would.
broke kid.
I would, bro.
You take it from a celebrity,
I would.
then taking it from someone who's actually struggling out here.
I would, because you see, most people aren't born celebrities. So this guy has probably experienced life on at least both sides. Not for as long as the other person, but there's something he knows. That's why he's successful now.
I think we should look him up and know.
He's very successful.
What
Because it's a show.
his
Like there's
background.
Jimmy Kimmel, there's another show.
We should
But
know his
regardless,
background.
that's
And then you have to understand, you can't use someone from
the States.
this ends of the
And
world
that's
to compare suffering to someone from this ends of the world. Because even if you are poor over there, you have social grants. You do, as much as
Well,
you're taking it lightly.
I think I agree, but that's now the point I'd like to disagree with you. I agree, they have a different environment which probably they can thrive in. We have a different environment that probably it's harder to thrive in. But that's not to say that people aren't thriving in this environment. That's not to say that even in that environment, people aren't suffering. So I don't think that's a valid point. I think the human experience is the same regardless. Of course, it is dependent on the environment you are in, but the experience is the same. The poor person here has the same symptoms as the poor person in the United States. Conditions might be different, but they're all stressed at the end of the day. They're all thinking about, they're all depressed, let me just put it that way. So I don't think that's an argument. But my bottom line for suffering is, and I categorize suffering in two ways. There's the level of suffering that is too painful. In fact, if it's physical suffering, it's too painful. And that one is sort of the hardest to go through. But the other suffering that is probably the one I'm referring to is the suffering where it's all about in the head. Like it's how you view things, your perspective, how you're experiencing things and internalizing them. That is part and parcel of life. And we can work on that, and that can change, and that can also change our reality. Just the unfortunate bit where, for instance, if someone is terminally ill, that is an unfortunate thing to happen to someone.
Okay, sure.
So those are two different things. But this other one, I think there's a chance to make it
Now, let
work.
me ask you, if that's the case, what do you make of the poverty rate in Africa? Which is actually, in certain countries, worsening every year.
It's systemic, bro. For me, it's systemic, and that's why I think you probably have heard me say this before. Every time I see someone less privileged, let me put it that way. Every time I see someone less privileged, it hurts me because sometimes I feel like there's some.
I'm less privileged.
It hurts me, bro. It hurts me to see. It hurts me a lot, my brother. But it hurts me because I know that we can do better. Our leaders can do better. The systems can be better, at least to give them a basic level, a basic standard of life. Let's, for instance, I'll speak about this, but I'm not saying, okay, I'm not.
Why is it that foreigners find it easier to live in Kenya compared to Kenyans?
As a
And
foreigner. As a foreigner.
generally, not just in Kenya, but
In
across the globe, foreigners usually find
It's not,
easier.
no, bro. If you're an immigrant in the US, it's not easier. So,
But then
let's talk about Africa. No, let's talk about Africa. Probably in Africa.
In the US, I feel like it depends on your skin color
No,
because Indians
no.
are doing well in the US. Indians are doing really well.
That's a lie. But as a foreigner,
Mhm.
what is your experience in Kenya so far? You've been here 3 years, 2 years, 3.
Two. That's my second.
Oh,
This is my second.
By the time you're coming here, it was 1 year. So
Mhm.
I've known you for more than a year because I've been in here for a year before.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
went.
This is the second year.
I don't think so, bro.
You get.
You
I
came
came
in
here in
2024.
2024.
Exactly. This is
End of
2026.
2024.
Before you came here, you were living somewhere here, right?
I came.
Okay, 2 years. I get. You came end of 2024.
Yeah. Like I came August.
Anyways, so what has been your? Let me ask you a few questions. What's your? What do you think about Nairobi? Not even Kenya. Nairobi.
Nairobi. Hey, beautiful. Let's put the song when you do the edit. Nairobi. Nairobi is.
What's the most beautiful thing about Nairobi, bro?
Nairobi gives you the feeling of belonging. And I feel like as a foreigner, that's one of the most important things you want. The feeling of I belong. Because you can go somewhere and if you don't belong, it's hard for you to do anything. Right? So I think that's the first thing that Nairobi gave me. Two feelings, right? The feeling of I belong and the feeling of everything is possible. That's what I got from Nairobi. Honestly, even in Joburg, I didn't have that feeling of everything is possible. But when I landed here, somehow it became, wow, I feel like I can do so much here.
How okay, we'll go to that, but I wanted to ask you how different is Joburg? Like now that we are seeing all these other things, because again, it's difficult for foreigners. it's difficult for foreigners to actually be in South Africa.
Let me now say this.
It's just a Nairobi thing, so don't think this grace we are offering you is out there. It's just a Nairobi thing. And I agree with you that it's sort of easier for guys to fit in Nairobi. I think it's because it's just the Kenyan spirit. For me, I feel like Kenyans are more open. We are very much hospitable. We have been. I think arguably you can say that, especially in the bigger economies or bigger countries, you would always have Kenyans in that hospitality industry somewhere. So I think our culture, we are so much open, very much hospitable, very much welcoming. Yes, we have our flaws, but very much welcoming. I think people can easily fit in, and Nairobi as a city is growing, if not grown, but growing. I think you get the mix of both. I mean, there's places where, of course, life is difficult. You'd see things and you'd be like, "Why is this way?" But a few kilometers away, it's like the best thing you've ever seen. Like it's arguably something competing with a fast world city or something. Yeah. So yes, we are welcoming. I think it's in our culture. I think it's easier. But the part where you say we find it more difficult, I think don't take it wrong that maybe Kenyans complain a lot. It's because the standard we've put for ourselves, the, the expectation we have for our country is so much higher. So we know that we are far away from so many other nations. But I think we are one of the most connected country in terms of like digitally, in terms of what we are seeing out there, in terms of what we want, in terms of our politics as well. Our politics can be, it's volatile, but it's also very much so progressive. So we're still holding on to so many things like tribalism and all that, but we are also very much progressive in terms of our policies, our law. I think this is probably one of the first countries where uh, a presidential election has been, I don't know if I should say ruled off before. I think this is one of those. So I think we are progressive and we have a high expectation of ourselves, and that's why you hear us complain a lot. I don't think it's because we do not find it easier. We just want more out of our country because we know we can achieve more. Because if we're seeing all our athletes doing great out there, we're still wondering why our stadiums not to that extent. You see, so they dominate in international forums, but our stadiums are not to that level. So that's probably the gap that we have, and that's why it seems like we're complaining. But it's just wanting more for yourself.
Okay, but let me start with this. Not all South Africans are xenophobic.
I agree.
As a matter of fact, some of my good friends are South Africans, right? But even what I meant when I say that in general foreigners find it easier to make it in foreign countries because foreigners usually get jobs, open businesses, and then the locals on the other hand complain about unemployment, complain about So now it kind of make you make you think, okay, why is it that I found a job? Why is it that I'm able to open a business and these guys are here complaining and saying, I don't have a job, I can't do businesses, everything is expensive. And that's the thing. There's also like the slight difference between an immigrant and someone who came on, let's say, a work visa or student, or because a lot of times when you tell them that it's not that expensive, they're like, oh yeah, but you getting money from home and all that. Okay, sure, those are for that. But for the immigrants, they don't get no money from home. They actually have to struggle, work hard, find ways to find ways to integrate the system and most of the financial system.
Do you refer to yourself as an immigrant?
Me? No, I'm not an immigrant.
Exactly. So we're talking about immigrants are probably
No,
those who are coming
I'm
from
putting it
war.
on a general spectrum.
Okay.
Oh, cut.
So what are you saying about South Africa? Foreigners.
Okay, for South Africa, not everyone is xenophobic, right? Let's just put it there, right? But I do think that the ones that are not xenophobic should speak up more because it kind of like looks like the ones that are xenophobic are hard.
They're the loudest.
Yeah, they are the loudest, really. So it's looking that way. But shout out to my niggas.
But it's strange though.
Shout out to Joe Bro. Yeah, let's go.
It's strange. What percentage of South Africa is white?
It's about 8%.
But they are just mad at the black ones, yeah?
Yeah. But me,
Anyways,
I don't think it's about hate. These people are sponsored by the government because it's easy for the government to go about its daily business when you guys deflect the what you call this thing. You deflect the actual blame, right? So now the government doesn't have to take accountability because you went and create your own reason why you think something is not working, and they're letting you run with it. Like, wonderful. You see?
No, it's messed up, but it's backward. That's what I can say. Like, even if that was true, there's other ways to deal with it than the violence that maybe has been shown. But I'm glad that the rest of Africa is speaking out by causing trouble or supporting Mexico and all the other countries. So happy for that. So that guys also maybe now the ones who aren't speaking out will feel the need to speak out. Because I've seen
a
some
couple of them are now
coming out and being
speak out.
like, we deserve it, it is our fault, blah 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 blah. We need to change that. But yeah, I think that idea of foreigners finding it easy here versus the locals. Yes, foreigners find it so much better. Nairobi is an open city. People can come in, people can enjoy life, people can go out, people can have fun. It's a city where you can have a mix of both. You can easily get in touch with wildlife. You can easily be full on in city life. But I think yes, for us locals, it's probably because we know and we think we deserve better. I think our policies have allowed us, our education system has allowed us to think that way. We are very much connected. It's me. We are very much connected. We are very much connected, and I think actually Kenya is the most digitally connected African nation, maybe outside South Africa, maybe. That's why like you'd find us even like like most international companies try to reflect, or if they have a Kenyan, they try to promote them more because they know they'll get more engagement on their social media if they post a Kenyan. So yeah, we are connected and we want more of ourselves. That's why we complain, but don't get it twisted that we are not comfortable at all. We are. We just complain a lot because we deserve more.
So you don't think the Arab is making more money than the average Kenyan?
Who?
You don't think that the general Arab is making more money than the average Kenyan?
Arabs
Yeah.
are making more money than
Mm.
Kenyans in Kenya or in Arab
In Kenya.
are making more money than
It's just, yeah.
no, but in Kenya we don't. I don't think we refer to people as Arabs or Indians.
No,
Even
it's
if that,
just.
as long as you're Kenyan, you're Kenyan. That's
No, no, no.
that's also a
As in
Kenyan thing.
Kenyan, Arab, no. Like, general spectrum. It's not if he's born here, grew up here, no. Like, it doesn't bother you that a Chinese comes and makes more money than you. Doesn't.
No, I don't think it. So far, I think it doesn't bother us. I think it doesn't bother us because in many cases right now, for most of them as at now, they're actually doing genuine business. It's not like they're coming here to scam us. Yeah.
Hmm.
Again,
Yeah, you guys come a lot too. No, I'm just saying.
nah. So it's not like
Nigeria, one. Kenya, two.
sharp boys, sharp boys. So it's not like the foreigners who come to Kenya are coming for as scammers. They're coming because there's opportunity. They're coming because they've seen there's business. They're coming because they're maybe expatriates. They're coming because maybe it's international firms. They're coming maybe because it's for study. So I don't. I think that's why we don't feel that way. That's why we do not feel any way like we don't feel any jealousy or any envy over those people. Because for instance, if you're to speak about crime in Nairobi, everyone experiences it. So it's not like foreigners are heavily targeted because they're foreigners. So a foreigner will be targeted. It's bad luck. It could have been anyone, anyways. But it's just that it's a foreigner. But it's not like we target foreigners. In fact, on the contrary, we actually almost do not want to ruin a foreigner's experience compared to other nations. I think that's the case.
So you think that Kenyans will never be xenophobic?
I don't think so. I don't think we'll ever get there. I think because we know that Kenya has opportunities and we know that also the foreigners that we have, it's from a point of opportunity. It's not out of taking advantage of us. And our main problem isn't even being as successful as them. Our problem is just are the systems working for us just as well. Because you see, for a foreigner, you would easily go to your embassy to get assistance for anything you need.
I don't have an embassy here.
So sad for you. Which country do you come from?
I'm African.
Oh, sad.
Any day.
I'm sorry, huh? But what I'm trying to say is, for instance, if you're French, you'd easily go to the French embassy, the US embassy, whichever embassy. But if it's us, even if we're in our own country, it would still take us way more to get little things sorted, and that's the thing I'm saying. Like the systems just aren't working as good as we want them to.
I'm
And that's why.
experiencing it.
Yeah. Because you have no embassy now. How can we assist you?
No, it's not about as in,
Ah,
your
kumbe-
system is not
kumbe-
working at immigration.
kumbe
You're
you're an
telling me
immigrant.
about
Kumbe you're an immigrant.
No.
You sneaked into this
Your
country.
system are not working here in immigration. You're telling me about my embassy.
Yeah, so I
There's
think
nothing my
that's...
embassy can do if your systems are not working.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's your country's fault.
Wow.
This one now is beyond us.
Nah.
Mm.
But okay, so where do you think the current anti-immigration movement is coming from? Because you see,
The global one?
yeah, Ireland is going crazy, Britain is going crazy, France is going crazy. okay, mostly European focused, but then also like starting to come a bit here in Africa. You have South Africa. Remove South Africa, you have the Arab nations, the Maghreb nations, who are not too keen on people, going to their borders either. And you also have the United States, who for the longest time has been the friendliest, but these days, due to Trump's policies, they kind of like don't want us around.
Yeah, I think it's radical. And it's good that you've ended on that fact because that's where I'd actually pick it from. I think it's not that these countries, people genuinely feel this way. It's just that it is a political agenda that is brought forth, and these governments of the day, once they take the seat, this is an agenda they run with. I don't think for most of these countries the people truly feel that way. I don't think General American, for instance, like you had the one for the World Cup where a Somali referee had to be sent back home because he's Somali, bro. Bro, if you haven't, let me bring you in, bro. This guy is 34, bro. This is the height of his career, bro. This is the height of his career, and these guys stop him from coming into the country because he's Somali. So it's just to settle political scores, or like there's no point. There's
Okay,
no
but
point
the
in that.
US, you can say that, with the case of the US, you can say that it's an agenda brought forth, right? But in the UK, it's not like any, in the UK, it's not like any political party. Okay, they are riding on
It is a political
but
party
but
agenda.
in the UK, it's actually protests. It's not like in the
I
US where
understand,
it's
but you
the
see,
government
but
that does it.
when I say it's a political agenda, it's because I'm saying once the politics justifies it, then the people have the thinking that we should rightfully do so. Like with British, when they went through the is it the Brexit or something, I heard or I saw that they're actually now considering doing a deal with the EU to ease the way of doing business going forward. Not necessarily go back, but like have an agreement. Which that is what was there then when they were in the EU. So I think it's just politically motivated. Once the government of the day supports this, of course, there's people who are hardcore, always going to support the government. And then they now get the right to protest, to do all these things. But I don't think that's the general outlook of those countries.
Have you?
I think the only concern would be, of course, people are concerned over maybe crime rates, cultures, and whatnot. But I watched there's an episode, PBD, Patrick Bet David, the podcast. He was doing it with Mehdi Hassan, Mehdi Hassan, the journalist, and they were arguing actually this topic. And Mehdi actually pointed out, I haven't seen it, but what he said is all these things are propaganda because, for instance, people say in UK they do not want foreigners, especially Muslims, because they bring their own cultures into the culture that is existing. They
Christianity,
bring
mostly.
crime and whatnot. But according to Mehdi, and he did present that data, is that over the last 3 years, the crime rate in the UK has actually gone a record lower. So it's just that it's being made out to be way worse because of these people. I'm not saying they're not committing those crimes,
Yeah,
but it's outside the reality. It's overemphasized to prove a point, but it's not the reality.
I think they got to the point where it doesn't matter if it dropped.
But why?
People have
Because
a cup
that's
fuller. It's like and that's just my opinion, right?
it is your opinion, not mine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah, it's
my
yours.
opinion, right?
Yeah.
Is that if it's like right now, if like let's say something happens in Nairobi, right, and for example, that foreigners have repeatedly been the ones to do it, right, and then one day another foreigner comes and does something, right. It doesn't matter if 3 years ago the number has dropped. You will automatically go back to thinking that the problem is the foreigners.
I think you should. I hear you, but that's why I think we're also getting it wrong because I think sometimes you should isolate the individual from the people.
For the
Yeah,
people, yeah.
I think that's the part where we are losing it. Because, for instance, if someone if a lecturer slapped you today, it doesn't mean tomorrow you retaliate to the wife or the kids.
For the
Right.
next lecturer.
Yeah, or the next lecturer, exactly. So I think that's the mistake we're doing. And I feel like all these crimes that are happening are things that the government can actually solve. But then again, that's why I'm saying it's propaganda because they have a stake in it. They want the popularity vote and they probably make decisions around it. Because if crimes are being done by these people, then shouldn't our security improve to ensure there's no crimes? Shouldn't our vetting improve so that to ensure that these people don't come in? Like there are other systems before it gets to the crime that is being committed. And that's the problem I have. Like for instance, currently, if we refer to the Minnesota thing, it's Minnesota with the Somalis and Trump, yeah. So if we refer to that, yes, that's happened. It's factual. Now they've found out. It shouldn't happen again. But it shouldn't mean now you castigate the Somali community entirely. You found out this is the mistake that happened. Let's get the culprits. Let's take them into account. But let's not say the entire community is doing this. So that's I think is the problem I have with it. I'm not saying foreigners aren't coming and causing trouble. They are, but we are putting systems to ensure that that doesn't happen.
Okay.
And we now end up blaming a whole nation. Right now, there's a fucking referee, bro, who was going to be the first in his country to ever do that. He's one of the best in the continent, bro. He's 34-year-old and he's been stopped from refereeing a World Cup match, bro. It's probably the wildest dream it's ever had.
So you don't think that stereotypes actually do follow the people? Like you don't think that if let's just say I'm Fred and all Freds, for example, stab, you think that no, we shouldn't follow the stereotype of all Freds stab.
It's
As much as there's a majority.
I think if Fred hasn't stabbed, we should follow. And we should try as much as possible to ensure that there's no stabbing by a Fred. Not necessarily for a Fred to just be chilling and be called out for stabbing. That's my point. Like, yes and no. We should create systems to ensure there's no stabbing, but we shouldn't say Fred stabs because Fred hasn't stabbed anyone anyways. So it's an unfair judgment on them. Unfair judgment until they've done it. And I'm not saying let them do it. That's what I'm saying. So don't let them do it, but don't say they've done it when they haven't.
So, okay. I feel like Africa has been, let me not say Africa in general, but a bunch of countries have shown that we can actually all live together.
Not a bunch, a few, but yeah, continue with your point. Maybe you're making a few.
A few.
Okay, many. Let me say many.
Like in a lot of countries,
Because, okay, do you think
we all
Morocco,
live together?
Morocco,
They are racist, and I'm gonna say it as it is, right? I'm sorry if you're Moroccan and you're watching this, but that's the truth.
No one's watching us from Morocco.
But the Maghreb countries are known to be racist. It's not
Okay.
something they hide.
South Africa.
South
Now,
Africa.
okay, it has been for at least the last 20 years, maybe. Xenophobic, though. But
South
that's
Africa
the worst of
is
it
a
all.
small amount, but just that
Okay,
it's the amount that
let me
is
ask.
shown the most.
Racism or xenophobia? Okay, I think xenophobia is still a aspect of racism, right? Or not?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, because I wanted to compare them, but I think none is better anyways. Of course, racism is more systemic.
I
than
mean, with the
xenophobia.
race, I feel like it's better. Hear me out because because you at least have like a good reason, like be different in the skin color. Okay, right? Xenophobia, like we kind of like the same though.
Have you ever been racist? Are you racist?
I don't know. I actually don't know, but I don't think I am. I think I'm able to isolate per person. If you are racist toward me, I will reciprocate that. If you are xenophobic toward
But I
me,
don't think it works
I
that way.
reciprocate.
Whoever
No, it
is
works.
racist first wins.
And it's very
You can't.
it's very
The one who's racist first wins, bro.
but then I feel like
Okay,
there's
not win, but
ways.
like has already hurt you. Like you can get.
But honestly, I feel like you can try and to some extent to reciprocate. But the truth out here is, and that's me really trying to be pragmatic. Not every white person is racist. Not every black person is xenophobic. Right? And I feel like
Most
a lot
people
of
are.
times, yeah, a lot of times I feel like maybe we should track back because it's rooted somewhere. And maybe we should find out where it's rooted from and work on that. Okay, for white people, we all know where it's rooted from. We'll dismiss that. But for the xenophobia, I really want to know where it's rooted from. Like, where does it come from? Where does the hate come from? Where? Who started it? Why did they start it?
But also the other argument, let's look at xenophobia from a positive angle. Let's look at any positive that movement is pushing for.
Mhm.
For instance, they tell people to stay in their own countries and build their own countries.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily a bad idea. Of course, there are situations or
Sure.
nations where that is highly unlikely. Maybe they are war torn or there are no opportunities at all. But I think maybe war is one of those that you can put on
Highlight.
the side. Yeah, but the rest, I think it's a valid argument, bro. I think I'm not
Yeah,
saying people shouldn't travel, and I'm not saying people shouldn't go to other countries, but I'm just saying that argument isn't a bad argument.
It's not about
It's not.
argument.
It doesn't justify it, but
It's
it
how
is.
it's implemented.
Yeah. Because if you say like, okay, it's complicated. Because once you've settled in a country, you probably built yourself up. Your life belongs there, so it's also hard to live that life.
But then it's true to some extent. To change a country, you need the people to start with,
Mhm.
right? And I guess here in Africa, our government fucks us a lot in general. Because honestly, all these problems, our governments brings them to us. I don't think a general African, right, wants to see his other African brothers and enemy. We are all friends. You know, as much as there's banter here and there, but at the end of the day, if all of us find ourselves in France,
We don't really hate South Africa. We just want them to
exactly.
change their way of thinking at the moment. Yeah.
So I personally feel like this is it's unfortunate, but I decided that that's not how I'm going to categorize South Africa, and it's not because
Now
I grew up there.
how to even think about it is this way. Like you see when football is at its okay, it's getting to another peak right now, but with the Premier League, Arsenal, Manchester, blah blah blah. You see how polarized it was, like how hateful it was for Arsenal to win and everyone hates on Arsenal.
Mm.
But right now, since we're in the World Cup, now we are all English. We are all supporting England. We are all like Declan Rice. We are all like. So I think it's the same way. And that's what I'm saying. I think it's actually propagated by the politics of the day. They enable this because it's not like South African government can stop the xenophobia. I think that's actually the most absurd thing because we know the guys, the
The
ones
guys
who
who
are
are doing it, yeah.
so they have allowed it, and that's why I'm saying it is making the fact that the government allows it makes it so much worse than what it is in reality. So in reality, yes, people might be feeling there's unemployment. Yes, people might be feeling there's crimes, but they do not intend to hurt these people. They probably want the government to take action, but the government now allows the people to take whatever action they're taking, and then it makes it so much worse. So I think
Yeah,
at the end
there's
of
a
the day,
lady-
who is responsible for the xenophobia? Simple, South African government, bro.
Because there's a Ghanaian lady who was leaving, and she was like, "My problem is not so much so the xenophobia; it's the fact that I was beaten and the police was watching."
Yeah,
Right.
I think it's that. I think it's that.
But all in all, and that's another maybe topic we'll develop another time deeper, is the slave trade. I saw something crazy.
Mm.
And maybe made me open my eyes and see maybe white people a lot different. But they're the only ones who try to stop it. Because when you
Try
think
to stop what?
slavery,
White people.
when you think about it, right, we demonize them a lot for it. But black were trading black.
Well,
White here in Africa.
but it's like everyone. Like if someone
White
finds a way to
trading
benefit,
right.
then they take advantage of it. But it's the market that I blame the market, not I blame the market, not the seller. That's what I'm trying to say.
But then that's the thing. For a long time, we've put it on who? The white men.
But the white man is the market.
No,
The black man is not buying.
If anything,
He's selling.
If anything, okay, sure. no.
No.
It went both ways. They enslaved.
Very few,
There's
though.
this lady.
Very few.
In
That's my
Nigeria.
point.
I should look up her name. She enslaved her people to sell them off. That's one. Leave the Arabs, leave the whites. Here in Africa, among Africans, we were selling each other. We were slaves to one another. It's the same way in Europe, right? Before they come down here and they find out that we also exist, they're also slaving each other. It's the same thing when you go to Arabs. Same thing when you go to Indians. That's why there are caste systems. Upper class, lower classes.
It's always happened, but I feel like Africa got the worst end of it.
Why? I don't blame the white man. I don't blame the Arab. I blame the African, because at the end of the day, it's a power thing.
I don't think
He who does is he who can. Let's be real honest with that.
Yeah, but I'm not. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't be angry at that period. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't be angry.
But if you're angry, why are we not angry at the Arabs?
For doing what?
Slaving us.
We are.
No.
The No, I think it's equal. I don't
No.
think
No.
Because what do you mean angry? Okay.
How many
Okay.
times at school? Wait.
What
How
do you
many
mean?
times at school where you thought about the Arab enslaving us? Let's be real honest here.
Personally, I think it was there because we always knew that's how we start. Actually, they are probably the ones who started it first before the whites.
They are.
Yeah, it's just that the whites took so much more advantage. Like, who has museums, the Arabs or whites?
The whites.
Who
the
has
whites,
museums
The whites.
with our African artifacts currently? Arabs or whites?
It doesn't mean the reason, and I'll be honest, the reason Arabs still don't have them is because they lost a bunch of wars.
Yeah, that's okay.
Right? But the matter
So
of fact
why do you
is,
blame
they
the
were
loser?
never apologetic for it.
The Arabs.
That's what you don't get. They were never apologetic. As a matter of fact, in current day Libya, Mauritania, there's still slave trade. Our sisters and brothers who go to work in the Arab countries, they complain. What do they say? These people treat us like slaves.
So
They were never apologetic. They never apologized.
but
They never took accountability.
I don't think
And we don't talk about it as much as we love to talk about the Europeans enslaving and colonizing
I don't
us.
think they should. Actually, I don't think anyone should forgive.
That's how I was going
I
to
don't
get.
think anyone should
That's how-
forgive.
that's how
I think
was
it was just the order of the day at the time. Like, at the time, I needed to be making money. Yeah.
If that's the
I don't think
argument.
anyone should. I think, okay, my thinking about that slavery thing is, okay, we are beyond that, guys. Like, we are way beyond that. We are 400. For instance, in America, they say it's 400 years away. I mean, like, we are. The only impacts of it that is left is probably the racism. We should deal with the racism. I think the slavery is gone right now.
It's not. I literally told you in current day Libya and in current day Mauritania, they're still doing it.
That's the government enabling it. Doesn't those countries have governments?
And that's where I'm gonna
And
come
that's what I'm
in.
saying.
That's where I'm gonna come in now as an African, right? Why is it that we're at the bottom?
Of what?
This world chain. It's the whites, the Asians, the Arabs.
It's because we've been taken advantage of, bro.
but
But wait,
we are
wait.
still
Let me tell you.
getting
Let me tell you. It's because we've been taken advantage of, and they've found a way to break us by getting the best of us to play to their music. What?
Leave that alone. Let's talk about individual government. Like right now, we know, for example, that there's Kenyan soldiers in Russia who got there without really wanting to get there. They've been trying to get home, but it's a whole ass process. Why?
I have a very polarizing argument about
Why is it that the Kenyan government cannot just tell Russia, "Hey, yo, bring back our people. We do not want this."
this. If you, I thought about this last week.
Mhm.
If you're given the opportunity to go to Russia, would you go?
Right now,
For me, let's say for like 20 million for 6 months.
it depends.
Bro, you're going to war.
Oh,
Is that
I'm
like-
going to war.
Yes, for 20 million.
Million what?
No.
Yeah, I'm going.
I thought about it this week because I saw somewhere for soldiers.
So the thing is,
So I'm like, then because I feel like we would be judging, like saying it is their fault or saying I don't know, because I feel like you made a conscious decision to go, even if you claim they duped you. At one point, you're like, this plane is landing to Russia. This plane is going to Russia.
but not
Or if
all of
not
them
the
knew
pen.
they were going to war.
Oh,
Not all of them knew this. Some knew, some did not know.
okay. Then my point is, I think people should do their due diligence before
No,
going
no, no,
anywhere.
no, no. Your
'Cause-
government is supposed
Yes, of course,
to
the government is
protect
taking
you,
Thank you.
whether you are in or out.
My point is, the government obviously they have a stake in whatever they're doing. So someone probably is making money out of this whole thing. So
Okay,
and
so-
that's the sad bit, and that's why I'm saying I blame the government for what we're experiencing generally as a continent. The governments have a lot to do with what we're experiencing. The governments can do better. The government should manage our resources better. The government should make our lives better. The government should try as much as possible and give a timeline where over a certain period of time, let's say they can say even 20, 30 years, that we are not dependent on aid. We actually can. But you see, it's because people are enriching themselves and they enjoy these positions of power in Africa. Because if you ask someone to go to, like a Kenyan politician, to go and be a politician in a first world country, they'll probably say no. If they truly are called up for leadership and they want to lead some of the greatest governments, they'll probably say no. I wish that was possible, by the way. They should even go for internships or something.
I don't think. You think those ones are not corrupt? They just have better ways of doing it. That's it.
Nah, they're not as corrupt as us. And if they are corrupt, at one point, they get caught. At some point, they always get caught, regardless of how many years they are of the government. So their systems are so much better. Ours are lesser. On paper, they are, but like in terms of implementing, they are not really implemented. And I think that's the biggest.
The other day I was having an argument with the French guys there,
Mhm.
and unpopular opinion.
I think we have like 5 minutes, bro.
Okay, I'll end with this. Unpopular opinion, right? We got colonized because we were weak. And everything that happened to us is because of our own weakness.
Let me tie it back before it ends. You remember what we said about why Kenyans are more welcoming, hospitable, and it's easier for people to fit in? I don't think we got colonized because we were weak. We got colonized because we were so much welcoming. We were not. We
It's
were
a
unaware.
weakness.
No, it's not a weakness.
In the wrong setting,
we
it
are
is.
and we were unaware of the danger that comes with. So we were so much open. And unfortunately, people were way ahead of us in terms of their civilizations, and they knew they needed to take
You can't say that
advantage.
because civilization starts from Africa.
I know, even I don't understand.
I
Like
feel
they
like-
stole it from Africa and then brought it back.
Nice context, man.
No, weak is strange because there's countries who never got colonized. Yeah? You
Yeah.
know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and there's countries who fought for their colonization. You know that? Even when they didn't have fighter jets and all that, they still won that war. So you can't say we were weak. I think we were just naive.
But it's weakness.
and
In the wrong
powerless.
context, it's weakness.
No, we were